Welcome to Out the Trunk with Jordan and Darius. I'd like to start these things off, letting you guys know what's on our mind, musings, observings throughout the week. Last week was my co-host Jordan's birthday. He had a whole weekend extravaganza. Would you like to tell the people what you did that you're willing to share, starting with the day, which was Wednesday? I won't. Well, I guess I just dated the podcast, but it was last Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so, what'd you do? Starting with Wednesday.
So as we talked about on the previous episode, which has will be coming out soon, or will be out by the time they see this, I had to work on my birthday, so I
Yeah.
did that. So that was, less than positive.
By the way, your friends gave you some terrible advice. Do not call in sick after you tried to take the PTO and it was
Right.
declined. Like, no one's gonna believe anything you have to say.
Yeah.
That is, don't do that.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, no, you should have started faking sick 3 days ago.
It's like
And I'm
first,
like, well, first of all, we work remote, so like I can't fake sick on a computer.
right? How sick do you have to be to where you can't work from home? Like, you have to be,
Right.
you have to be completely incapacitated. I've called in sick working from home one time, and that was because
Right.
I herniated a disc in my back and couldn't get out of bed, literally physically couldn't
Yeah.
get out of bed. So, sorry
Right.
for interrupting, but that was all. I didn't say anything because it was your night and I didn't want to go on a tangent, but that was terrible advice. Don't call in sick after you've tried to request the PTO and it was declined
Right.
on your birthday.
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna know what that means.
Right.
Anyways, carry on.
Yes, I worked till 5. And then what did I do? Honestly, I was fucking tired as fuck. I was up late night before talking to everybody and shit. So I took a nap, woke up, went to dinner with the family.
Where'd you go to eat?
Uh,
If you, we don't have to name the restaurant,
uh,
but what kind of food was it?
it was Mexican. It was
Okay.
the spot near the mall. Went there, went back home. We did like gifts and cards and stuff with the family. Chill with them for a little bit. They had to work the next day, so obviously they went went to go to bed early. So then I just went and stopped by open mic because a friend of mine had hit me up and was like, "Yeah, hey, I'm performing tonight. If you want to catch me on the mic, whatever." So I popped up through to see her perform. Um, then I went to. It was kind of a chill night at open mic. It wasn't super crazy or like super duper lit or anything. So I just kind of went out there for about 30-45 minutes. Said hello to some old faces. And then I went to a cigar lounge that I like to go to. Hadn't been in a while, so I just bought
That's the one we went to on
bought a
St. Patty's Day.
yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
So I just bought a mild cigar, puffed on that, had a little bit of whiskey. Pretty much called it a night. Kept it pretty chill. So that was Wednesday. Thursday, another day at work. Hung out with some coworkers for a little while, got a haircut, watched the game. That sucked. Friday, I was out with you guys
The
at
game was
where we
good
hang out
Thursday. It
at
was Buffalo, Miami, right?
Buffalo, Miami. Yeah,
It
I
was a
mean it
good
was a
game.
good game. I guess it just got ruined by that shitty interception that Tua threw. So it was just like, damn, y'all, we had a chance for a nail biter and you blew it. Um,
Fair.
yeah, but most Thursday games aren't great anyway
I
because
was
it's
gonna
a
say
short
by
week and you
Thursday
can't really
game
prepare and
standards, I
shit.
was
So
like,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, it's more than a total of 20 points, so that makes it a pretty crazy game considering Thursday night standards. So yeah, so Friday I hung out with you guys all night pretty much. Um,
yeah. Yeah, Friday the night got away from us a little bit,
yeah, it did.
a lot of
Yeah,
bit.
yep. At one point I proposed we went to a gentleman's establishment. My friends were like, "No, we are not doing that." Um,
Yeah, you definitely the homie that doesn't quite know the party's over. Like, it's like 12:45. We're going home, and you're like, "Nah, let's do this." Like, dude, you didn't catch the last three times I yawned. Um, we are not 25
um,
anymore. The night,
no, that's true. Yeah. But Friday was a good night. It was a chill precursor to the following night. Um, then Saturday, what did I do Saturday? Yard work, got ready, went to the mall, met up with you guys at a place we like to go to.
Yeah. So, like, logistically, why did we start downtown, come back to the suburbs, and then go back downtown?
Well, honestly, I just want to do something during the day,
Okay.
and there was there like I'm not gonna go to where we hang out at like during the day.
Right.
That's just not the move.
You do realize there
Uh,
are other places on Earth.
no, I know. No, that's what I'm saying. But it was just like,
That
okay,
bar is
where
not the
else would
only
we have
one in
gone?
Raleigh.
I know. That's my point. But it was just like, okay, well, all the cool spots are like not near where I live. So, it was like, all right, we got to go to downtown anyway. So I was just like, well, fuck it. And also, I had to go to the mall. So I was like, it's not on the way there, but it's, only 10 minutes out. So I was like, well, it's not a huge inconvenience or trek, based on like my schedule for the day. And I had to run errands and shit and pick up stuff for the party. So it was just like, well, fuck it. Why not?
Let me just say, the spread at the party was banging.
Appreciate
It's
it. I will let the family know.
I reached out to your sister.
Mm,
I'm not, I think I would mispronounce her name. I don't want to do that. But for the
yeah.
meatball recipe, I'm stealing it. It was
Yeah.
good. Great meatballs. The pasta salad was amazing. You
Yeah.
had the
Pasta
biggest
salad's
tray
great.
of Chick-fil-A nuggets I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Had some wings.
Yep.
It was some Rotel dip was down there. We
Yep.
there was more liquor than I there was more bottles of liquor than people. Uh
Yeah.
which all right. I was like, who is drinking all this? And that's not even accounting for the stuff people brought themselves.
Right. I forgot about that.
So you are well stocked for the future, for
Yeah.
the rest of
I
the
still
year.
have pretty much. I have two unopened 12 packs just in the kitchen, and then I still have the cooler full of all the beer and ciders. So uh gotta find somewhere to
Okay.
store those.
I mean, that's part of the benefit of hosting is you get
Yeah.
all the liquor and beer that people leave because
Right.
party rule number one, do not leave with what like if you bring a 12 pack or you bring a bottle, you leave that there. You
Hmm.
don't
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
bring it home, man.
yeah.
That's tacky. That is the host. The benefit of being the host is you get all of the leftover liquor and beer and whatever gets left behind. So,
Correct. Yeah.
um,
So yeah, we have all that stuff left over. We still have a gallon, like a gallon and a half of the rum punch. So, so we'll be able to have some chill nights at home for the next couple of weeks.
yeah, fire up the grill, football Sunday,
Yeah, I'm about
not
to
bad
say,
at all.
yeah. Yeah, I was off Monday and Tuesday, or Monday, yesterday and today. So yesterday I just had a couple beers at lunch because why not?
There you go.
So yeah, so Saturday hung out with you guys at downtown.
We went downtown
Ran.
for a couple of spots. We started at what,
Okay.
6 o'clock?
Yeah.
And then we did one spot, walked to the next spot, had some drinks down there, and then
Hmm.
we went back to your spot for the formal birthday gathering, and that's where
Yeah.
most of your out of town friends showed up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They all
Okay.
met me there. Played
Great
played a
turnout,
fun
by the
drinking.
way. It was like 20
Yeah, it
deep, if
was.
I recall
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah, it was a good turnout, and a lot of people couldn't make it, so it would have been super packed if if everybody would have made it come through. But it actually kind of worked out perfectly because it was intimate enough where everybody got to mingle and get to know each other, and it wasn't just like people who didn't know each other not talking to people that they didn't know.
Yeah.
Good blend of people, so that was dope. Yeah, so we played most likely to. I ended up with all the cards.
Well, so there's a structural disadvantage there, right? You're the only one
Right,
everyone knows.
right,
So you're the default when like there was three people there who knew me, right? And so
right,
by definition, they don't know which cards apply to me, but everyone knows which cards apply to you. So you were at a
right.
structural disadvantage.
Yeah.
But the cards did apply to you, nigga. Like it was
Yeah, they
not
did. They did. They definitely did.
there was no default. No one else just give it to Jordan because it's his birthday. All of them applied very
Yeah,
direct to you.
and it's funny because I played that game with people who know me really well, and I play that game with people who don't know me really well.
Yeah.
And every time I play that game, I still end up with lots of cards.
Yeah, well, you have a gregarious personality to say the least.
Yeah.
Which card do
So
you feel landed 100%?
100%. Let me see, because I took a video of all the cards spread out. Um, let me see here. I would probably say, where's the video at? Damn it. I know I have it here somewhere. Uh, Fuck it. I think probably I mean, the misinterprets everything as flirting is
Yeah, oh
is
yeah,
pretty
oh
accurate.
yeah,
Yeah, that was
oh
pretty
yeah.
accurate. That one's accurate. What was it? Turns into a philosopher after a couple of drinks. But I genuinely am big into philosophies. Like, so it's I would talk about that sober too. I just get more open, like more loquacious about it when I'm when I'm faded. Um,
You are liquid.
yeah, when I have a little bit of liquid fun. Yeah, I say that those two are probably the ones that stood out the most. And so I took a video of all the cards spread out of the ones that I got,
Yeah,
and I posted it to my story, and like three people were like, "It's all accurate though." Like
yeah.
who weren't even there. They were like, "Yep, that's pretty much you." Uh,
No, I mean, even seeing through the structural disadvantages, I didn't see a card
hmm
that all the way didn't apply. Honestly, the one I would think was the
Yeah,
biggest reach was gets philosophical when you're drinking, but I
yeah,
mean, it still applies. Like, I don't know. Like,
right,
it
right.
still landed.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember. So we were
Treat
at
celebrities
the
like you know
beach.
them. Did you get that one?
Yeah, I got that one. Yeah, I did get
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Your
yeah, that was
parasocial
pretty accurate.
relationship with LeBron.
Yeah. To be fair, we are in the picture together, so I do have that
okay, that's
over.
true.
I have that advantage over most bronsexuals. I'm just saying.
You know, no one's ever taken a picture with the
Um,
most famous athlete of the last 30 years. Uh, one of the most
that's true. Good
recognizable
point. Touche.
people on planet Earth.
Touche, touche. No, it's funny because that game can actually like there are certain cards in that game that can really start like a fight, like a real problem with people.
We skipped over a
Um,
few that were like, nah, this is it.
yeah, yeah, we skipped over a few. I was at the beach a few months ago for Will's birthday, and we were playing it, and there was a group of girls that met up with us the next day, and we are like, let's
Yeah.
play it again. It was a fun time, and they're like, yeah, no, we agreed to like never play that game again. And I was like, we all were like, what could you have possibly, what card could it possibly have been? And it was like, I think the card was most likely to be like a shitty mom, and they actually named someone.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have to. Like if I pulled that card, I would instantly be like, nah, I'm not even like we can just go
No,
to the
yeah,
next one.
no, yeah,
Um, I just don't even see a scenario where that would where your like social skills. So like why would you even I would just throw that. It's
yeah.
like, no, let's throw that one to the back.
Like I'd read that and I'd be like, that's gonna get me punched in the face. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
ahead and
There
I'm gonna
was
pass on
there
that.
was one I skipped. I forget what it was, but it was just like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm not feeling
Was it
I
the
don't know.
one was it like last would keep the last parachute or something like that?
Nah,
Was that what it was? Oh, okay, okay.
it's like something about skipping out on a check or something like that. Maybe I don't
Oh,
know. And I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
this is a vibe kill question. Let me go to the next one.
Yeah,
Um,
that's crazy.
nah, it's just you just you have to read the room, and some jokes fly in
Right,
other ones. But in a room where of the 20 people there, I've only met five of them, and half of the five I
right,
was the night before. So it's like,
right.
nah, I'm not going. I don't want to read this one. Like, there's just, there's
Yeah,
other.
that's
The deck is this thick. Let me just find something that's a bit more
correct.
palatable, for the room.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I feel you on that. Um,
I
yeah,
was downtown,
also it's
so at
funny.
this point, I left
Yeah.
because I was not going
hmm
back downtown.
Right.
Um, but the night I would have came if I'd have known that y'all weren't really going downtown like that. I had it in my head that you were
Yeah.
bar hopping. So so you
Oh,
get
yeah,
down to
yeah.
Watson Board, and then what happens?
Yeah, so we're at Watson Ward. We're chilling there hanging out. We found like some a bunch of open chairs outside on the patio. So we hung out there. We're all chilling, everybody's getting to know each other. I mean some people knew some people, but um we just hung out most it was a vibe most of the time, pretty much the whole time. We were making plans for homecoming because they all went to school together and my brother went to school with them too, but he's younger than them. But Ryan like works on campus, so he's known him for like a couple years. So we were all just kind of figuring out what we're gonna do for homecoming. At one point, my sister like disappears, and then she comes back, and she's like, "Yeah, I went inside to get a drink, go to the bathroom, and some dude like hit on me." And I was like, "No, thanks, I'm not interested." And she's like, "Yeah, the guy." And then he was like, "Okay, whatever, like you ugly bitch or something like that." And so I was like, was this outside or inside? She was like, it was inside. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll be back. So I just walk inside and I figured my plan was just to look for anyone who looked like they would say something like that to a girl. And my cousin goes with me, and he's like, "If you throwing, I'm throwing." I'm like, "All right, cool." And so we're going in there, and my sisters like they catch us where we go inside, and they're like, "No, no, no, stop, stop, stop!" So they stop us from going in there, and then so I was just like gonna lie. I was like, "No, I gotta go pee real bad," and then they were like, "You don't have to pee." But other than that, yeah, it was a great night at Watson Ward. It was really fun. Drinks were a little pricey, obviously, but winning in Rome. So we went out there, and then we were like, let's go somewhere to like dance. So we planned to go to Halcyon. Um, and so we took two separate Ubers. It was like 12 or 13 of us. And they're like, they call us from the other car, and they're like, yeah, no, the line's like around the wall, like around the building. Like there's no way we're gonna get in time. I was like, all right, cool. So a few of us, we were like, well, fuck it, let's just stop by our
Spot we
bar.
usually go to,
So
yeah.
yeah, so a few of us go there. The other car goes straight to the house, and then we hang out at the spot for like 10, 15 minutes. Say what's up to our buddy Bouncing. And then we go back to the crib and we all just hang out until like 4 in the morning,
Oh
basically,
my
just hanging
God.
out, shooting the shit, talking. I mean, some people were asleep, but yeah, everybody else we just hung out and talked and did a couple more shots, ate some more food before everybody got on the road.
Fair
Um,
enough. Good birthday
that was
weekend.
Saturday. Yeah, it was a really good weekend. It was a lot of
Wait, we're
fun.
still
I'm
going?
definitely. Wait, what?
You said that was Saturday. I was like, we still got more days going?
Oh well, what did I do Sunday? Sunday I just met up with Luis and his lady out. We went to Devolve, hung out there, watched the games, watched 1 o'clock games, and then we left at around 5 or 6. So like halftime of the 4 o'clock games, and she was like, "Oh, I'm cooking. I'm making some like chicken pot pie or whatever, and like apple crisp and stuff like for dessert, whatever. If you want to come hang out with us." I was like, "All right, cool." So I hung out with them, watched the Cowboys game, and then a friend from the spot hit me up and was like, "Hey, we're all here hanging out." So I was like, "Okay, I'll stop by, say what's up." It's on the way home anyway, so and I'm off tomorrow, so I was like, "Fucking we ball." So so I go there, meet up with them. Keller and Smurf are there, so we're all hanging out and just watching the game, shooting the breeze. Nothing too crazy. It kept it chill. I didn't, get faded or anything. And then went home, and that was the official end of the weekend.
Man, I got tired just listening to that. Well, happy 33rd birthday. Uh,
Appreciate it.
I was there for 75% of that, so no need to
Right.
get back into it. But yeah, happy birthday, man.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. It was a lot of fun.
Hope 33rd, your Jesus year is a good year. Jesus died at 33, right?
Yep.
Yeah, your Jesus year. Hope it's a good one.
Yeah, I hope I don't die too.
You know, he's kind of famous, Not a bad way
Yeah,
to
he's
go.
pretty he's a big deal.
You know,
Apparently December we commemorate him in some way, shape, or
he has
form.
a federal holiday, so big deal.
Yeah,
Multi-billions of people follow the religion he invented. So, well,
correct. Shout
there you
out to
have it.
him.
Shout out to Jesus, Jesus Christ, and all of the above. Well, anyways, congratulations, man. Happy birthday. We want to move on. You done with the recap?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So I saw a, t- a it was a Twitter video, but I think it was originally posted on TikTok. And this guy,
Okay.
he had gotten a job. It was like he
Hmm.
got a verbal offer for a job, and he's
Okay.
like stunned because he's like, when they offered me the job, I was like, can I start in 6 weeks? Because I want to travel. They're like, cool. They're like, cool.
That's some nigga shit.
Yeah. My nigga, like 6 weeks? Where are you going?
6 weeks.
When's the last time you traveled for 6 weeks? Are you studying abroad?
This
Like, I don't.
this nigga asked for a gap year.
Yeah. And so they was cool with it. They like, cool.
Wow,
And
shit.
he's like, so I'm like, all right, bet. Lady calls me 2 days later, 3 days later. And she's like, did you see the email for the drug screen and the background test? And he's like,
Oh
no, I didn't
no.
see it. She's like, well, you have to have it done in 72 hours. And he's like, okay, well, I'm free today. I can do it today. She's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
let me talk to this is the HR lady. She's like, let me talk to
Hmm.
the team or whatever. She calls them
Right.
back and she's like, the team actually decided to just rescind the offer to go, we're gonna go with somewhere else. And
Wow.
people were it was about 50-50. People were like, did they tripping, whatever, whatever. And I just want to like, do you understand? First of all, if you're missing deadlines during the onboarding process,
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Because
you ain't even started
anybody
the
who knows
job
when you
yet, and you're
first,
already
yeah,
you
man.
ain't seeing emails. You like,
Yeah. And they send you an email like every day for shit you have to do when it's
who
that
doesn't
like
check their emails for 3 days?
thorough of an onboarding. Yeah, that's true.
And if you got
People with no
Gmail,
job don't check their email every 3 days.
right? And okay, if you got Gmail, the filters do move shit around, but like you not on
That
the
is true.
eyeball. Every time I've ever had a job offer, I was like, okay, so what are the
Hmm.
next steps? Okay, I'm looking. Okay, this
Right.
email is coming. All right, let me just make sure that I'm checking my filters or whatever. If I know it's in 72 hours and I ain't got it in 24, I'm calling like, hey, did you send it out? Let me make sure you got the
Yeah, you want
email
to send a
right,
follow up.
buddy. First of all, 6 weeks. Um,
That is
I was
crazy. Six
kind of
weeks?
willing to stall him out on that because he's not an employee yet, right?
Right.
And the worst thing they can do is say is no. But
Yeah.
it's still
If he
a
had the trip already planned, I guess.
it's still a
But that's insane.
crazy
I'm sorry. That's a little crazy.
that's 6 weeks. That's 3 times the normal process, normal two
Basically,
weeks.
yeah.
And
I hope
then
his savings is straight.
and then you didn't see the email. First of all, it looks suspicious. Like it looks like you're ducking the drug test. Like
That, you know what?
what do you
That's
mean you
probably what it
didn't
was.
see the email? Like that
First of
doesn't
all,
make any sense.
and you know what? Maybe that's why he said he needed the 6 weeks.
Like I always tell people, drug tests for like a hiring screen, they're not actually drug tests, they're IQ tests. Because
Mm,
the only people who will fail a drug test that they know is
is an
coming,
idiot.
idiots or fiends. And I need to know if you
Yeah.
are a moron or a drug addict.
Yeah.
they don't actually care if you smoke weed. They just need to know
True.
if you can pass this IQ test because the
Right.
only people who will fail it are morons and drug addicts. And so if you can
That's
pass
a good
that
point.
test and you want to get high on the weekends, no one cares.
Yeah.
We just need to know. They just need to know if you can like get through a basic if you can go 6 weeks clean to pass a drug test.
Right.
Um
Damn, that's crazy.
so yeah,
And
I don't know.
honestly, in any job that gives you that much leeway in the onboarding process, the pay had to be pretty good, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
Yeah, and the thing is, man, like sorry, this is fucking with my ear.
No, you're good.
Like unless you have like some insane technical skill, you're a surgeon or you're like some computer
Right.
science or something like that or some AI researcher,
Right.
most white collar professional work is actually not that difficult and doesn't require some
Yeah.
exceptional talent. Like what's going to differentiate you is if you're reliable and if you're easy to work with. And off the
Hmm.
bat, you look
Clearly, you're not.
you're annoying. Like why are you 6 weeks
Yeah,
and then you're
6 weeks,
missing
bro.
this and you're already annoying and you haven't even started yet. Like
By the way, why are you planning a trip like in between looking for a job? Like
that,
if you're looking for like if I'm gonna look for a new job, I'm not planning any trips because I'm like any job you got the 90-day probation period anyway. Like
right.
what do you mean? What are you doing?
I almost don't even believe it. Where are you going for who vacations for 6 weeks?
6 weeks. Yeah, that's crazy.
Who
Where the
like I
fuck are you
don't
going?
I've never vacationed longer than 2 weeks. Like where are you
Yeah,
going
that
that
that's
takes
some
6 weeks?
that's some eat, pray, love shit right there.
I've known people who have went to South Korea and weren't gone for more than 2 weeks. Like, so where are you going that you need 6 weeks to hang
Yeah,
out?
like in the UK when they go on holiday after like high school graduation and shit, like it's like a week, maybe 2 weeks. Like, what are you doing?
Anyways, you want to
Yeah,
move
that's
on to
wild.
talking about Mr. Fallon and cancel culture?
Kimmel, yeah.
You want to lead that one?
Uh, sure. So they freed Jimmy and
Freedom.
he out on parole.
Uh, can we please? He had a week off of his $15 million a year job
True.
for telling a joke that, look, if you had asked me a week or two before, I'd have thought that joke was in the normal bounds of late night talk show. It
Yeah,
was. He did lead with a
it wasn't
lie.
crazy.
He led with a lie, saying that the guy who committed the murder was MAGA, and that's just not true. And
Yeah.
like we're becoming as conspiratorial as like
Hmm.
people sound like January Sixers when they're like, well, it had to have been like no, it's very clear that this person was on the left wing of the political spectrum. That is just verifiably true. So we don't do conspiracy theories. Like that's not a thing. Anyways, so he led with a false premise, but the joke, I thought the monologue, the joke was
Yeah, it
within
was
the
pretty
normal bounds
harmless.
of late night
No pun intended.
comedy. And it was inappropriate for a government regulator to weigh in on, a talent. Like,
Correct.
that's just granted, the network
That's
TV
some
is on,
1984 shit.
right. And granted, network TV is on public airways, ABC, NBC,
Right.
but normally that's just normal presidential administrations see that as just the kind of it's like the Fed chair. You don't mess with the Fed, even though
Hmm.
they report up through the executive branch. You want the
Right.
independence of the Fed as bedrock of the American economy, the world's economy. And so that is unusual. And I thought that he got a raw end of that as well.
Right.
Um, but I'll be honest with you, I do not watch late night TV. So I
Right.
wasn't really I was more up in arms about the precedent than the actual I,
Correct. Yeah, it's a very slippery slope, and like, we watch all these countries that are, under these dictatorships and fascist states. Well,
yeah.
we're not totally dissimilar from them now.
We
And you
are.
always like, yeah. Well, I mean,
This podcast
we're
wouldn't
trending
exist
in
if we lived in
true, fair, fair, fair. We're
Moscow
trending, we're
or
trending in that
Beijing
direction.
or Pyongyang. I promise you that with these like you
No, I
can't.
know. Um,
If you went to
but
someone who was in Pyongyang and was like, America is a fascist country, they would be like, hang out with me for a week.
yeah.
Let me show you what fascism is. Like
Yeah,
you literally
fair.
in North Korea, they literally like have to pray to a statue of the leader. Like that's
Yeah,
like it. Like in it's just people words mean things.
fair. That's true. But I do think it's
But
important to state that this none of this shit is
it is
right,
not
normal,
normal.
or okay, or like this is not like people like I was watching the Button Pod and they were like, "Oh, I'm not surprised that they," and it's like that's not the point. Like
Yeah.
it should be surprising, it should be shocking, it should be jarring to you. This is not normal behavior. This is not the shit that the founding fathers, quote unquote, you know, wrote about in all those documents. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not something that we can afford to be jaded on. And this slippery slope between Jimmy Kimmel and whoever else, and it starts with one,
Yeah.
and then
The example I would use is Viktor Orban in Hungary. That is very much like they still have elections in Hungary. It's
mhm.
what most scholars say is like a competitive authoritarian state, and not
Okay,
authoritarian, where it's like he literally started this way where he would like he
yeah,
got judges fired that he didn't like, and he would
yeah,
get papers dismantled that he didn't like, and now like
hmm,
all of the news that the citizens hear is very slanted toward the Viktor Orban's party,
correct,
and he gerrymanders the districts to where
right,
even if he's 55-45, he can win 90% of the seats and different things like that. So I would say it's
hmm,
much, the words mean things, but I would say it's
yeah,
alarming, and it's a lot. If you went to citizens of Hungary 15 years ago, a lot of what Viktor Orban was doing it's kind of like what's starting here. And so I don't mean to
correct.
say that I'm not concerned, but I
No, for
do
sure.
I do think it's important to note the differences between the two.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Yeah.
because like literally in parts of China, there's Uyghurs, Muslim Uyghurs in Western China. I had to do the W, never eat
Yeah.
sour watermelon. In
Never eat
Western
soggy
China
waffles.
that are literally living under a surveillance state where they have to
Yeah.
like have papers in their pocket at all times. And so,
Hmm.
so there are levels to it. It is
Yeah, and
alarming.
that's how this shit starts. Like, I mean, I think I've talked about this with a couple friends. Like, what's crazy to me is we live in this generation where we we grew up with like immersed in pop culture, right? So we
Yeah.
grew up watching Star Wars and Harry Potter and Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings and whatever else, Dune, so on and so forth. Reading these books, watching these movies, and they all have these leaders who are corrupt and so on and so forth. And it starts with simple shit like, you know, uh the press, the manipulating the press, and then it leaks to, the reality TV or the content that people consume on a daily basis, like the Hunger Games or, Harry Potter with the newspapers and shit. Like, this is how it starts, and we're literally seeing it, and we've studied it in history our entire lives, and history books are written on this for forever, and it's just crazy that we're just watching it, and people are just so like, okay, la da da da, like it's just him being crazy or whatever. It's like, no, guys, like that's not. You're supposed to take this shit because you give away an inch and they're going to take a mile. They have no reason to stop. Like, we really need to be, on our P's and Q's with making sure that we hold people accountable.
That is true. I also think because it's so important, we have to be judicious with which things we jump out the window for. And you
Correct.
become the boy who cried wolf when you throw a tantrum every time Trump says something racist on TV. Like
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
people just tuned out because Trump bad is just okay. We've known that.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like you have to, you know, you can't swing at every pitch. But
Correct.
in the words of the great Benjamin Franklin, it's a what do we have? It's a democracy if you can keep it. Democracy is not
That's a fact.
evergreen. You have to fight
Yeah.
for it, and it's not guaranteed. This experiment in the United States is very young. It's less than 300 years old, and
Yep.
it's the first experiment done like this ever, a multi-ethnic democracy. This has
That's
never
very
been
true.
done before, and we held it strong for and honestly. 300 years is strong because until the Civil Rights Act of 64, we really
Right.
weren't a full democracy.
I was gonna say, yeah,
So you're
we
talking
keep
about
acting
70
like that didn't
years,
happen.
which in the on the chain of as long as people have had governments, that's like yesterday on an evolutionary
Right.
scale. So, like I tell people all the time, like the Civil Rights Act is younger than my mom. My mom was born in 61. That's one generation.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
literally one generation. It's younger
Right.
than my mother.
Like, people really
Um,
forget that.
so
We let the black and white images fool us, but that shit was not a long time ago. Ruby Bridges is still alive. Martin Luther King's kids are live and on Twitter.
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the
My
shit
great
was not
grandmother picked cotton.
100 years ago.
I met my great grandmother. She passed in 99, but I met her. And so that's
Hmm.
like someone I met picked cotton. It feels like forever
Yeah.
a day ago, but on an
Yeah. Right.
evolutionary chain, it's not. So, um, just one quick bit about cancel culture.
Mhm.
There's a reason why people said you have to be careful with this thing because you're not going to be in power forever, and you're not going to be culturally dominant forever.
Right.
And it's not fun when the rabbit has the gun because I was there. I remember people getting fired or some guy would get drafted, and then they'd pull up his tweets from when he was 14 and like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or
It happened every draft night. Every draft night. Yep.
some white lady says something wild at a Starbucks and you record her and then they reach out at her job and she gets fired for
Hmm.
that. And it's like, okay, but you're not always going to be on top and you're going to hate it when it happens to you because, you
Yeah.
know, when you record someone throwing a tantrum at a Starbucks, you're seeing the worst 30 seconds of their day, of their week, maybe.
Hmm.
And I promise you, if someone recorded the worst 30 seconds of your day, you would not come off looking great. You know,
Yeah.
so, the whole time I was like, obviously at in the most extreme,
Hmm.
Louis C.K., Bill Cosby, that's different.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's a totally different
But
thing.
when you're talking about, someone told an off-color joke that you overheard, or
Yep.
so you were at the dog park, and so it was like the lady who like was yelling at the guy taking pictures of the birds at the park,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
got
Hmm.
her fired for that, and it's like this really the world you want to live in? Because I promise you, it's not going to work out well for you in the end if the shoe ever gets on the other foot.
Yeah.
And we fucking told people like you think because Democrats are up now, because you're culturally relevant now, because progressivism is popular now, you think that's going to be forever. And, I just remember sitting there like,
As
we're
we
going to
can
get this
see,
lady
it is
fired
not.
because she tried to tell him not to take pictures of the birds at the park. Like, really? Like, and maybe she said something a bit off color, and maybe she was being a Karen or whatever, or maybe
Yeah.
even a
Yeah.
little bit
I remember.
racist. But,
Yeah.
like, okay, all right. Because what's considered out of the bounds of social norms now isn't going to be forever.
Hmm.
And now we got a college kid, I think it was at Texas A&M, who made, I mean, let's be real, that joke was in poor taste. Like he was mocking the actual, like, I mean, he was caught on video
Murder.
mocking the murder. That was in poor
Yeah.
taste. And he got expelled from school And people are like, well, it's a kid making a joke at college. And I'm like, you understand that's what people said when you tried to kid some lady who threw a tantrum at the
Yeah.
park. Like it's just everyone's surveilled all the time. And
Right.
I just this feeling you people feel right now where they're like, it just doesn't feel right that we're just capturing bad jokes and imposing lifetime consequences on them. Just
Right.
remember that when you're up. That's all I got.
That's fair. That's a good
Like
point. Yeah.
um because you know I'm just glad I didn't grow up where all my thoughts were just sprayed on the internet before when I was a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I wish like Japan has a rule where like you can't sell a cell phone where that
Mhm.
allows for like the silencing of the flash. So like if you take a picture with your cell phone, it has to flash, it
Yeah.
has to make a noise. And like I will
Yeah.
vote for any politician that's willing to pass that law because you should not be able to film and record people in
Without their
secret
consent.
in without
Yeah.
their consent in public. Like there was like I think we talked about this on the pod the other day. Like this guy sitting down having dinner at a fucking
Oh yeah,
mall
the
food court,
couple at the mall. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and someone takes a picture of them, and he's like, "I hate when girls are dressed up." And boy, like you don't fucking know these
When
people. These people are
yeah.
minding their business, having lunch in a fucking mall food court, and
Right.
now they're on the Summer Jam screen, and people are judging what he wore. He might have been asleep off a night shift, and his girl called him like, "Hey, you want to run to I gotta make this exchange," and he was like, "Fine,
Yeah.
let me throw on these sweats real quick because I'm half asleep. I just worked 12 hours in a fucking overnight."
Yeah.
You don't know anything, like
Right. She could have left an event and was just overdressed because she was
right.
overdressed. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the cancel culture is crazy. I mean, I think thing too is we support to say like there's a difference between like actual, you know, deplorable behavior and just like saying some stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
there's
in the eye of the beholder, though.
fair,
Like
fair.
there's no
Well,
legal
okay. Well,
standard for what's deplorable and what's stupid. Like
no,
that's what I mean.
I'm not talking about. No, yeah, I'm referring to like actually doing shit to people, not like just
Yeah.
saying something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the shit where they dig up old people's old tweets. Like that's kind of fucked up to me because if you go look at anybody's Facebook posts or they could have gotten an argument with somebody and called them a name
Yeah.
and by the letter of the law you could fire them or cancel them for that because that'd be making your company look bad or whatever. You know,
Like
like
I
shit
always
like that.
say, you're gonna sit up here and stand before me and say you've never rapped the F word that's a derogatory slur for gay
Right,
people to a rap song. You've never done that? Because I mean, and so let's
right,
say you had Twitter when you were 14 and you were just
right,
tweeting rap lyrics. You're telling me you never said that word?
right.
I don't
Yeah,
believe you.
exactly. Also, I think,
I don't
and
believe
that's the
you.
thing too, is like a lot of people get canceled for like just tweeting rap lyrics when like, but people don't know the context that it's a rap lyric or that it's a song. Like they don't put the quotation marks or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's like maybe just like Google a little bit just to make sure like they're not just saying some off the wall shit for no reason. I think that's also pretty simple to do.
Also, there's
So I
a
think
difference between public figures and people just tweeting.
true,
My thing is though, like what you said, like the reason why you denounce it in general is because there's no consistent, concrete, forever standard of what's considered out of the bounds of social norms and what's considered a joke and what's considered
right?
that it evolves over time.
Yeah,
And you're not gonna always be up. Like I tell people all the time, it's a two-party country. Sometimes you're going to lose, and you have to think about what standards I'm setting when
yeah,
the other side wins. That's all.
correct. That's true.
Fourth quarter goals, man. What you got? You want to put something on wax?
Yeah, it's time for it's almost time for the great locking of the Burr months
Yeah.
slash fourth quarter. I mean, my goals for the fourth quarter, I haven't really sat down and had time to sit and like really write them out yet. I still got like 4 or 5 days before I really have to put it in stone. Definitely get back in the gym on a consistent basis for sure. Um, I need to get back to writing more on a regular basis as well and performing. But I also really want to focus on finding new spots to perform at specifically. Um, so I've not been challenging myself like just being in the same creative bubbles. So I really need to give myself some creative obstacles, so to speak, you know. I think what else do I want to accomplish? Yeah, I do need to get back more into reading on a regular basis as well. I've kind of put that on the back burner. I've picked up some new books and some audibles and stuff, but I haven't really immerse myself in them as much as I wanted to.
So
Honestly, it's just hard because work. I just read and type all day.
If I may,
Yeah.
the way you're setting these goals, you're not defined enough, so you're bound to fail them. So when you say I
Okay.
want to
Okay.
write more, what does that mean? You have to say I want to write two
Got you.
paragraphs a
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
I want to write 50 words a day. I want to, because if you just say
Yeah.
write
Okay.
more, you're gonna write two sentences.
Writing
You'd be
is,
like, that's more than
yeah,
zero.
that's more than yesterday.
And so you have to goals have to be specific
Yeah.
or
That's,
they're just dreams.
facts. That's true. You're right. So I'd say I'd probably want to write at least 3 poems a week. I'd say I
At
want
your peak, what were you
to,
writing? When you were deepest in your poetry vibe, whatever kids say, what were you
yeah.
writing?
It's hard to say because like sometimes you're just editing old shit or
Yeah.
you're like finishing shit, and then sometimes you like get an idea and you're writing something new. Or like it's really hard to say. I'd probably say probably between uh, between 1 and 4 a week. It really depends on the week or like the subject matter, how long the poems were, because that also can dictate, how much time you have to edit and stuff like that, or how much
So
time is required to edit.
So if 1 to 4 a week was during the height of it, and you're just trying to get into it, do you think three is realistic?
Hmm.
So I'm saying maybe like so. The thing about goals is if they're
Yeah, yeah, you want to start
unattainable,
small.
you would just stop. You have
Yeah,
to
that's true.
feel it like accomplishing them is part of the fun. So if you make it
Right.
one, you're gonna do one, and you're gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, that feels good. I can put that off until next week, and then next week you do
Yeah.
the one, and it starts feeling less good, and then you start doing the two.
I think that's my problem is I burn myself out when I start right away.
Yeah,
Yes, I mean I guess probably 1 or 2 a week would be more uh better starting point. So I'd say yeah, I'll just say one a week to start off.
1 poem a week. What we
Yeah,
got
1 poem a
reading?
week.
How many books a month are we reading as part of your goals?
Uh, so the books I've gotten are like long as fuck. So, um, so I'm
Are
gonna
they interesting
say,
to you though?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
because like I tell people all the time, if you start out with some prehistoric text about Thomas Jefferson and you're not even interested in that because you
right,
saw it on some bestseller list, you're like, I don't care if it
yeah,
start with
a cookbook or fucking
a
yeah,
cookbook, the first Harry Potter, whatever gets you those muscles moving again is
yeah,
what's important. And don't get me wrong, you should always challenge yourself.
hmm
In weightlifting, there's a term called time under tension. And it's like when you
yeah,
lift the weights, how long is your muscle stretched? How long is your muscle in the tightest
right,
tension? And that's gets you the most growth. So you shouldn't
yeah,
always read easy things, but you should have goal books and things that test you that are
and things
strenuous,
that are
but
just
you
for
also
fun.
should have something lighter to feel good.
Yeah, that's kind of how I do it too. Like I view a lot of art almost like a playlist, so to speak.
Yeah,
Like I have like so of the books I have, like I've been doing Dreams from My Father by Obama.
good book.
I just started doing yeah. I started doing Dorian Gray, the picture of Dorian Gray. I don't know if you've, I mean, I'm sure you've heard of it. I got like some serious shit, Count of Monte Cristo, and then I got like a memoir from one of the Harry Potter kids, and I got, found this dope Greek mythology like fictitious book called Son of Achilles. I haven't started that yet. That's kind of I might start that tomorrow during work. So yeah, I got got shit to kind of in every genre and something to pique my interest whenever I'm in the mood for something of a different flavor.
And how many days a
So yeah,
week at the gym do you want to do?
that I'm trying to figure out. Um, I'm trying to figure out like a work schedule that works for a workout schedule that works for me that I'll actually be able to adhere to even on days where like I'm doing pod shit. So I think what I'm gonna do is like cardio in the morning or cardio in the day or maybe at lunch and then like weights at night.
Okay.
Um, so I'm probably I'll say to start out, I'd say probably I think I need to do 4 days a week because if I do three, it'll be too easy for me to like not go back for a couple of days. So I'm gonna say 4 days a week so I can get back in the habit of like planning um like just planning my workouts and my routine and not being so focused on getting everything done in, one workout.
Fair enough. Trick that I've been doing is like for the Sunday dinner album, I just save that for a workout and
Mm.
an hour makes it go by quick. That's a good list, man. It's good to get them on wax. It's good to get them specific.
Yeah,
Um, at least
yeah,
as
that's
my
true.
experience with goals is like write them down, get them in writing, tell people so that they can know that these are goals. Because if it's just you, it's easy to no one knows I'm
It's
failing.
easy
You
to
know,
piss them off. Yeah.
like, who cares?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
true.
accountable to it and make them specific
Right.
so that specific and attainable.
Yeah,
Because
that
if you,
honestly, that's the reason I post when I'm doing certain shit. It's
yeah,
it's more so just so like I can, because if you post it and then you just stop posting it,
yeah,
and like people will ask you about it when they see you, like, oh, what about your, that way you have to keep yourself accountable. Not so much that they're pressuring you, but just you want to have an answer
yeah. Well,
when
because
people
people are
ask you.
curious, they follow you
Yeah,
because they're curious about what you got going on, and just out
right.
of natural curiosity, they ask. So makes sense.
Yeah. And I will say, I think the good thing about this podcast is it's given me something to do consistently. So like, I know I struggle with consistency as someone who has like ADHD, and also just I'm very scatterbrained in general. But it's been good to like, okay, I can do something consistently like for a long period of time and stick with it and not get bored and not quit, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a nice kind of mental exercise, so that way we literally have proof and documentation of work ethic that we can just go back to, whenever we're feeling discouraged or whatever.
And it's time under tension. It's like
Mhm.
this doing this helps me with like I'm trying to like I just my I feel like my brain has just become mush because everything is short video, everything is
Right.
Twitter. So
Same.
this like watching the movie and like I don't like all the movies that we watch, but I have to watch it because I'm on here, and it's
Right.
easy when I'm just watching a movie that sucks to cut it off. Like I'm king, like I'll walk out of a movie theater if a movie sucks because it's just a sunk
Yeah.
cost. Like like I already the ticket is bought. Do I want my night back or do I want to sit here for another
Right.
hour watching a movie I'm not enjoying? So,
Yeah, that's
um,
true.
again, time under tension. Like it's I think like our brains are so used to everything, all entertainment being great
Yeah.
because YouTube algorithm gives us the next 30-second video,
Yeah,
the TikTok.
TikTok, Instagram, Twitter.
But like it honestly, I need to relearn how to be bored. Like it's like
Mm,
that's really what it is. And I'm
yeah.
slowly but surely getting there. I'm not reading as much as I used to, but I'm getting back
Hmm.
to it. My goal this year was 40 books. I'm not gonna hit that. I'm at like 28 right now, and I have two and a
Mm.
half months. So maybe, I don't know. But with
Yeah.
football, it gets tough. Because like Sunday
Yeah.
afternoon, I would just do a lot of reading. But yeah, so I'm relearning how to be bored. Um,
Yeah.
and that's
Interesting.
sometimes like that's
So,
just writing, that's
mhm.
watching the movies, that's when I listen to an album, like the my instinct, not for the pod because I you have to listen to all those tracks, but like my instinct is this song is whack, turn it off. But like no, just
Yeah, fuck it.
listen
Yeah.
to it. Just listen to it. Like it's three
Yeah.
minutes. It's 3 minutes. You can be not 100% satisfied for 3 minutes. Like
Yeah.
it's fine. And like this is how we lived for yeah. This is how we lived for millions of years where like,
Yeah.
like I remember buying albums that I didn't like, but I fucking spent the $16 and I only had three of them. So I just played it over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
And you learn something about it. And did all the albums grow on me? No. I remember Drag-On's Opposite of H2O. That shit was trash. But I listened to it like fucking 30 times because I spent my hard-earned
Hmm.
money on it. And,
Yeah.
just like
Interesting.
just relearning how to be
Yeah.
bored, man.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, because I've been kind of dealing with this too, like, or struggle. Oh, I struggle with this. I'm like a very like ambitious person, but I'm also very impatient.
Yeah.
And so I'll be like, fuck, I don't get the results I want like in X amount of time. And I'll be like, fuck it, I'll just quit. Like I'll like rage quit or whatever. And if so like with this, I'll be like, I've had to like really learn how to like relearn how to like just okay, it's about the process, just like consistency, doing it the same thing over and over and over again, every week, every day, every month, for this whole year. And I remember I made a TikTok about it, and I said um like I had to teach myself like fuck the process, sorry, fuck the results, make love to the process.
Right.
Like it's about like just like doing the thing and not worried about what the thing is doing for you, because eventually the thing will do the thing for you in due time. And so I wanted to ask you, have you found that this process or this project slash podcast has taught you anything about uh like resilience or just consistency?
Consistency, yes. It helps that I enjoy the process though. Like,
Right.
I've always wanted a space to talk into a microphone. and speak extemporaneously into a microphone. I just did never wanted to do a solo podcast.
Right.
Um, so no, I mean, it helps that I don't ever look at the numbers.
Oh yeah,
That's
you
yes,
don't.
your domain. Um, no, I enjoy it. It gives me a like I never want to stop learning, right? I think
Right.
people one thing as adults we do is we get our jobs, and our jobs are sometimes hard, sometimes not, but they're stressful. And then we get off
Hmm.
work and we just want our brains to turn into mush. And I'm trying to
Correct.
resist that temptation to just turn on House MD reruns or
Hmm.
Martin reruns and just like,
Yeah.
no, you're not supposed to stop learning as an adult. So with this podcast, I'm watching sports differently. Like I'm watching it to have something to say.
Yeah.
I have to watch the movies to have something to say. I have to listen to the album to have something to say. It's just flexing a different muscle, and
Hmm.
I'm a voracious learner. Like I just really like learning new things, and so I never get frustrated with the pod because I'm just learning.
Right.
Um, the results will come, but in the meantime, I
Yeah.
get to learn a bunch of new stuff, learning video editing, learning audio editing, learning how to take a deeper thought and make it concise, learning how to,
Yeah.
write a rundown, learning what's interesting to people, what's not interesting, what jokes will work, what jokes won't, how to time these
Hmm.
things. That's all good skills, and they apply to different spots in life as well. So, I think I
True.
said it
Yes.
when we were at Yacht Club, Yacht, whatever it's called, some
Yeah.
bar
Hmm.
downtown. I think people, I see why they do it. I don't fault them for doing it, but like to me, education is not just job training. Like you're learning
Hmm.
problem solving, you're learning thinking, critical thinking, you're learning how to be, resilient. And all of those are part of the process. And it may not,
Yeah.
you went to college or whatever and you got a degree and you don't work in that field, but like the math you learn might be useful in another place. And I just never want to be the person that's just,
Yeah.
not learn. I never want to stop learning. So no, I don't ever get frustrated with the
Yeah.
pod. I enjoy the process and I enjoy what this thing is teaching me. So, yeah, to answer your question.
Okay. Nice. That's good to hear.
Anything else
What
before
was
we get
it?
on?
So do you have,
Go ahead.
yes, do you have any fourth quarter goals or anything you want to finish finish out or finish use like okay, so what would have to happen for you to feel like you finished this year the way you'd want to when you thought about it, your plans in January?
Uh, I would like to rep out 405 on a deadlift again. I've hit it a handful of times since I injured my back December 2024, but I would
Yeah.
like to get back to that. I want to break my own personal bench record of 285, but I want to get up to 315. Benching more at 37 than I did at 27 would be pretty cool.
Hmm.
I would like to outside goal actually hit the 40 books. There's a couple of good books that like I think will respark the energy. I read a couple of there's a fan fiction website, and I read a couple of Game of Thrones fan fictions and like a couple Mad Men
Okay.
fan fictions that kind of got me back in the mood of reading that I was kind of in a funk. And
Hmm.
so go back to two of my favorite
Yeah.
shows and read, you know what fan fiction is. It's just people taking characters. Did a little world
Right.
building on some writing projects. I'd like to start getting some chapters again, maybe average 50 pages a week, but I won't start that in
Okay.
2025. So I'll probably be more like a 2026 goal. I want to eventually publish a fiction spy novel. I got about 150 pages of
Okay.
it, but it still needs some more world building. It still needs some work. So, they say everyone has
Okay.
one novel in them, and I'd like to one day get that one published. So, yeah. So
Gotcha.
that's
Yeah.
so to answer your question about 2024, I'd like to hit my own personal bench record. I'd like to clear my 40 books, and I don't have any goals for the pod, man. I just want to keep recording and keep
Hmm.
getting it out. I feel like we've recently turned a corner a little bit at our 1 year. When people ask me about the pod in public, it's not just, hey, you got a
Hmm.
pod. It's like asking me about things they heard on the show, which it's a sign that they're actually
Oh, yeah, yeah,
listening
yeah.
to it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
good.
yeah,
You
yeah.
could tell when someone's just
I
like,
got
got a
it.
pod, huh? It's like, yeah, not
Good
really.
job. I see your posts.
And when they
Keep it up.
actually have
Um,
something to say that, they saw
yeah.
is like that's a good sign. It's subtle, but it's a corner that's being turned. So
No, that's real shit. I got a funny story about that. I was hanging out with Keller and I was wearing we were watching football and I was wearing a Commander's hat and he's like, uh do you actually like that team or are you just wearing the hat? And I was like, oh no, I'm actually a Commanders fan. And he's like, okay. He's like, I know. He goes, and he literally quoted it something I said on the pod, and he's like, I know sometimes you just do it for the drip. And
there you go.
I was like, oh yeah, no, I fit. And he was like, so would you literally wear like any hat? And I was like, no. I was like, there's two hats I will never wear or touch in my fucking life. I was like, I'll never touch or wear any ounce of Duke clothing or Cowboys clothing ever in the history of time or the world. God himself could be like, hey, here's the keys to heaven if you just wear that sweater. And I'd be like, you sure?
Y'all even got the heat on here, so we're good to go. No, that's good. That's good that people are actually listening.
Yeah.
We're turning a corner. So
Oh, we